Hello, everybody, and welcome to our review of, you guessed it, Big K.R.I.T's new EP, Trifecta. My name is HSR.
My name is Chris Chrome.
And yes, we are reviewing Big K.R.I.T again today. It's not going to be a big review this week. It's just going to be a couple of EPs. So it's this one, and then we have something special to start to roll out over the next couple of weeks, too, for y'all. A little bit different. I'm going to be Santa tomorrow. See, look, I've been Santa before, so it's a lot less time this weekend, unfortunately. That's what's up. Anyway, before we jump into it, just wanted to give you a little introduction to who we are and what we do. For those who know it already, you can skip ahead in the description of the video. But we are regular people who like to talk to the album, talk about these albums, track by track, go through them, share our thoughts, share our experiences, and just kind of have a conversation about it. And then we want you to join us in that conversation in the comment section, because it's truly nice to level that. We can like to hear what you have to think, whether it's about our performance or our thoughts, or even if it's just about the music, or even if it's about the first time you ever heard Big K.R.I.T, or maybe it's like where you were when you first listened to Trifecta and the environment and the impact it had on you. Like, we never ask that kind of shit. We should. We care about it, because those comments are so interesting, and they help us think about albums and music just differently, because it gives us your perspective, which helps us get smarter about how we approach it. Anyway, so that's who we are, and we're going to do that, and we're going to talk about Big K.R.I.T Trifecta today, like I said. And then I wanted to give a special thanks to our patrons before we begin. Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Linda Williams, Super School 1994. A bit about that at the end of the video. And then, since it's short and sweet, let's just get to it. Mr. Christopher, why don't you introduce the album again? Because that's how we start the show.
Well, for this week's Headspace bonus review, we went with Big K.R.I.T's third surprise EP, Trifecta.
So yeah, that is where we are at. I mean, how about this? If you click over here, you'll see, or in the top corner, the first one that we talked about.
Tricex.
Was it
Tricex.
Thrice.
Tricex.
Thrice X. It's not trice, it's thrice. That's what I'm trying to say.
My bad.
Anyway, so we talked about that one, and we gave all sorts of talk about Big K.R.I.T. Normally, we talk about like the artist a bit and how we're fans of them or not. In this case, we're fans of Big K.R.I.T. And then last time I think I did it by myself, but I talked about Big K.R.I.T's Double Down. I don't know if you were there. Either way, that happened, and so we did it again, and here we are in like the course of a month with our third Big K.R.I.T review. And it's not so much that we're like fanboying or anything. It's more, I'm so fascinated by this marketing strategy, because instead of releasing like a conventional project of a normal length, right?
I mean, this is 9 tracks right now, right?
No, it's 8, because Double Down was only 2. So we're at 8 songs that have been put out over the course of a month. And it's like, from a media creation perspective, right? I have incentive to make this video, because Big K.R.I.T put out another new project. I like Big K.R.I.T. You Big K.R.I.T fans maybe enjoy doing this, and we've done like 2 recently. So basically, like, Big K.R.I.T has managed to snag all of his media attention because he consistently drops new stuff, and there's not as many projects being released at this time of year because of Christmas and shit. So really,
not many.
Well, I mean, just in general. No. If you really just look at the number of releases, it just like drops around Christmas, and at that time, it's almost like Big K.R.I.T is able to, like, the first EP was in a denser period because like it was cool, it was new, and then as it's thinned out a bit, it's like Big K.R.I.T just keeps putting out projects. So all the bloggers, all the people like us, all the reaction channels, all the everybody, they're basically now making their third or whatever Big K.R.I.T run in like the last like 6 weeks or whatever, which is, from a Big K.R.I.T perspective, probably really fucking good for his SEO equity, and it's super interesting.
Like, last week we reviewed Ice Cube, right? And he put out a full-length project.
Yeah.
What do you think is the impact between like what Big K.R.I.T's doing compared to just putting out a full-length project? Granted, I know that like Ice Cube might have a following and stuff like that.
It's just kind of like I think Big K.R.I.T is testing something new.
Okay.
I mean, it's not that different than just releasing like a single a week, except it's more like you take a project, and even just on the cover art alone, like, we just pivot to that for a second. In the first one, we had the front of his face. The second one, we had the back of his head. This one, it's now his hands and shit. And so it's all clearly flowed together. This is all like one bigger project tied and put out in these releases.
Well, I think there's more to it. Because like, Yeah, the first one is just his face, and it's like got the glasses, whatever, and it's just kind of simple. But the back one, I mean, he's got his tattoo.
Right,
The tattoo's
but
got
what I was trying to like imply is that all of these are part of the same
Right.
series of
Absolutely.
things. So when you would look at them after, it's like 8 or 9. I don't know how many it is, but let's say it's like 6 projects that roll out. Then it's almost like the same as putting out a full length album for all terms and purposes. Only the delivery, because they're not singles, they're EPs on a technical front. So it's almost like you're dropping multiple projects. So all the bloggers and us, we're all going to treat it.
Do you think these would count as, like, if you were to be like, if you were to have the conversation of the GOAT, the king, the greatest of whatever, and you're like basing it upon projects, would you consider these Trifecta, Double Down, and Trice X as 3 individual projects, or like kind of like a series of?
Like when all's said and done, we're just gonna like refer to it as like a big group as like one thing, because it's gonna be part of a collection, and it'll probably get released to vinyl and shit on a collection as a deluxe edition with 2 more bonus songs. You know, like that's how I predict that goes out for like physical. And honestly, Ismail Gadamsi put me onto that idea, and like. It just seems to be like something that you're not seeing the big boys do, but you are seeing the indie side of things do. And I think it's just it's an interesting play. I don't know. It might backfire, and I guess that's what we'll talk about a bit as we go through the project tonight. But yeah, I like the cover. I don't have a lot to comment on it. To me, it's just like a continuation, except that we're focusing more on his hands now, and it just feels like we're gonna get more of him in future covers, just different things focused and highlighted on. And they're great shots, and they really accent like specific communications, but I'm fucking terrible at that shit.
I think there's a defining thing here. You clearly see the tattoo of Mississippi, and you clearly see the K so defined with the white of the background. I feel like it's stating like Mississippi King a little bit. I know the K could probably stand for KRIT, so that could also be another thing too. But I do like that kind of connection. I do like the boldness of it. I feel also like his hands kind of look like they're crossed, like arrest me in a way, but I don't feel like he's being arrested. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying like just the way you kind of cross your arms, like it's not really like you don't really cross your arms like that.
Well,
for
what
any
if
good
it's
purpose.
more like X, like thrice X? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I could see that.
I don't know.
But
Maybe.
that
What
was
do you
just,
guys think? Not to cut Chris off, but if you guys have any commentary on the covers and their various significances. But I'm more interested in the title, the Trifecta, because the Trifecta would be like the 3rd part of a series that like completes it. I don't even know. Let's actually just Google real quick what the real dictionary, because now I have a fucking computer, and so I can use my laptop in these
I think
reviews.
there is.
No.
Think...
Trifecta, a bet in which the person betting forecasts the first 3 finishers in a race in the correct order. So that is what it means, and in like applicable sense, it would be like this is the 3rd one and it completes the set. It's the trifecta. Like, you know, I don't really know how to explain it. That's how I understand the word, right? And so given that this is the 3rd project, maybe is the end of the set, and that it's the trifecta that completes it. We don't know if it's the end, so it's kind of like a fitting title if it is the last one in this series. But either way, it's also 3 more songs, so maybe it also implies that here is 3 more songs in another thing, because the second one was Double Down, that was 2 songs. Thrice X was 3 songs. So in that vein of like just kind of having plays on the number of songs in the project, Trifecta would make sense if it's 3 songs. Anyway, I thought it was really fucking interesting. Again, it's all tied into that new marketing release strategy is how I see it, which is interesting, for lack of a better term. Anyway.
Have anything else to say?
Nah, let's go for the 3.
Dirty is dirty. Try to rough a nigga up, bust a nigga up. Claim he got the...
All right, so
I like this.
Right away, I'm struck though with I feel like a deja vu moment has hit me. So I don't want to come off like critical in a negative way, but this release strategy doesn't have me like delighted by this in the way that maybe I would have been the first time I heard it. Like I sat through 22 songs at Forever is a Mighty Long Time, and it put me into this crazy headspace, and it was just like all grouped together into this big project, right?
Question.
Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
And because of that, like I was able to just take like an hour and a half or whatever and just absorb it all.
Right.
in this case, it's like a month ago, I already got this feeling of excitement for the new Big K.R.I.T. And then a couple of weeks, and the new Big K.R.I.T came, and it was really like it was good. And then now we're at the new Big K.R.I.T again, and I'm feeling like this is new, but not like interestingly new. It's just like I kind of wish this was just attached to the last project, because now it just sounds like a little bit of what I've been listening to, but being like leaked out. Now maybe this is just a preference thing in how I digest music, and maybe for you watching this, it's really different. But I think this is a new way to release music, so it's a relevant like thing to actually talk about. So if you guys have opinions on it, please feel free to share. If you guys find that you can digest the music better when it's released like this, because what was your question?
So, okay. Actually, I have a few things before the question. Okay. You said you were talking about the album, right? Forever is a Mighty Long Time, being 22 tracks or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was like 11.
Right. Now, what if he were to cut that up the same way he did this? Would you possibly have the same feeling? Because for me, you know how like on track 16, I'm starting to be like, this is the same shit? Like, that's just me. That's Chris Chrome. So, if Trifecta, Double Down, and Thrice X was all in one project and it was one album, these three, I would say, being at the end release, would be the end 3 tracks of the album. I would kind of start being like, there's not really much.
Yeah, but if it's only 8 songs so far at this point in the album.
But let's say the project's 8. Let's say the project is just 8 tracks. I mean,
right, but I'm pretty sure by track 8 you're not that bored. It's not track 16. So maybe if it was like 16 tracks,
but that's what I'm. But now I'm saying. But now hear me out. Now think of it time lapsing. Instead of doing 22 tracks in one shot, 8 tracks in one shot, you break them down. Now you're kind of feeling like this is track.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is how it hit me in real life.
Right.
Is like, I think this song is pretty much as well made as any of the songs that have been put out on the last series of projects, but it also thematically feels very similar to songs on the last 2 projects. This one is definitely coming in from that like back home feel, and like he's repping where he comes from a little bit, again from a cultural standpoint. Yeah, and you just see that, like, this for the 3, this for the house, this for the crib, this for the sub.
I feel like there's like a type of dedication in this
Absolutely,
song.
And this is not like a disrespectful thing. I'm saying that on each, I feel like he's done this now on each of the 3 projects, though, in terms of this type of song. And it's almost the same kind of like main overall flow and stuff. So it's not like I'm saying it's bad. I'm saying that because a couple of weeks has gone by and like I've gone through this already, I feel like now I'm not as excited for it. I'm enjoying it, but my excitement isn't here. Like I'm kind of like, okay, I'm more like listening to this because we're doing this review. It's like I don't know that if the next Big K.R.I.T came out, I'd be like super pumped at it, because I don't think I'm going to get anything new. I'm already going to be prepared for this sound, which is cool. However, if it had all been on one big project, I could have done 22 tracks personally and probably felt the vibe for like an hour and a half and just like gone through it, because it's about the vibe.
Right, and I completely understand that. But my thing is, do you think that, because you mentioned like, I have to do this because of the review, right?
That's how it feels for this one.
Right.
I don't mean that like I want to be reviewing this, to be clear. But I don't know how much I would have eagerly jumped out of my way to go listen to this over other things. But I mean, for the reviewing point of view, I'm so interested in Big K.R.I.T. And more the marketing strategy is exciting me than the actual music, which is just where I'm at with this project series because of what he's doing with it.
I'm glad we kind of went just right back to the project series. And it's something that clicked in my head, and I should have brought it up earlier. It's K.R.I.T did something like this on his last album. He released part 1 with like a few tracks, and then part 2 of a few tracks. There was it was Taboo part 1 and then Taboo part 2, and then he collectively put them together as the one album. And I feel like maybe that could be like the similar type of thing.
I think that's what's like being tested. No, and it is true. Like it's basically what Tech Nine's doing. I mean, we're seeing multiple artists test out this theory. But I'm saying that I don't know that it's effective to keep my attention span, but I'm a little bit older and old school, and I kind of, because for me it's like we establish a vibe, and there's a little bit of effort always to get into that vibe, and I don't mind taking that effort to get into the vibe. I very much enjoy albums for that reason. But when that vibe gets interrupted because it's like 3 songs and it ends, And then in a couple of weeks, I get the next 2. So now it's 5 songs. And in a couple of weeks, like it just seems like it's more complicated to keep that vibe and excitement alive over the next month. Even
you can't decide it. I feel like it's like you can't decide you want to continue that vibe.
well,
like,
it's more like, as much as I might love or hate it, it's like
a part 3 of a movie.
it has to do with just excitement. And I feel like it's a gamble, because on the other hand, I can see how for other people are now going to be like excited for the next part. Like, they can't wait to tear it up in these little chunks. But I feel like for me, I usually why we don't really cover a lot of EPs in the past is because I figured a lot of the songs are just going to end up on the album, and for me it would like ruin the experience of listening to those songs a little bit. Like, I try to avoid singles before albums. Like, I want to hear it all on the album beautifully, like as it's like meant to be, kind of thing. And that's a lot of why our album review format is in this way, is because that's kind of what the most interesting part is for me. And so this new strategy, like, I guess we're gonna have to start reviewing EPs a lot more, which I mean, recommend what you guys want to see us do, but like, it's just different, you know. And I don't know if I like it, but I'm also getting old enough to know that I'm an old fogey about this shit, and maybe I'm wrong, so I'm okay with that. Like, I might just be an old man clinging to the fucking past, and this is the future. Either way,
no stress. To get back to the track,
yeah,
I
the
feel
flow
like
is really okay. The chorus comes in and he's shouting out whatever, and I'm like, okay, been there, and I'm not necessarily loving it. And then the fat ass fucking bass slaps me in the face when the fucking verse kicks in, and he just starts like swinging and swerving, and he's curving, and you know, I can't say that any of the lyrics was like overly over the top. You know, it was just like a fun, flowy. A lot of stuff I don't really understand because I'm not from the South type culture.
Well,
on the other hand, the delight of listening to it was really fun, because it was just like a great experience to hear him flow over that beat. Like, there's something about the bass, like, you know, I keep bringing up
I enjoy the beat, and I think it again. Subinstein on his Subinstein Part 3 or whatever it could be is on his album Forever's a Mighty Long Time, and he's known for having good bass lines. Like, he knows what to hear. As per the verses himself, I feel like this is kind of like a reminiscent track of kind of like Rags to Riches. In the first verse, I get this kind of sense that he's talking about, because there's a question like, who needs herb? But I feel like Big K.R.I.T saying it like he used to be a drug dealer, in a sense, to kind of be on that grind for money. So that's where I feel the first verse is about. He's kind of telling us what he was kind of doing. He's got this grind mentality. He wants to make it big. He wants to become famous.
I kind of took it more like he's commenting on watch out for sketchy people who might not be on up and up. Because if you look at it, it's like, I swung and I swerve, like, who need a curve? Old school sitting on high, like, who needs some herb? Like, he's like, almost like he's talking about somebody else here.
I feel like that's legitimately all him. Like, when he goes old school on the curb, I feel like he's going back in the days I used to be on the curb, asking people who needs herb. And the other reason is in verse 2, he goes, I went 300 coming out hard. Now I'm worldwide. Ask that. I was king way before rap. Well, you're a king of what before you were a rapper? So now I'm associating that together in terms of just like fair. Having money. Then there's another line where he goes, knocking these doors down after dark, searching for cornbread, collard greens, eating thoroughbred, thick from the start. So look, I don't really know if he was a drug dealer or not, but I feel like there is some type of rags to riches struggle type story that's coming.
We can say he hustled hard and grinded hard.
Exactly.
And I think that is an ever-present theme across these 3 projects, is like, you know, pick yourself up. No one's going to do it for you. And then there is that reflective tone of going back, which I agree with.
I think that there is also, in the chorus, there's like this dedication to, there's like this dedication to people. So for like example, this is for the 3, this is for the house, this is for the crib, this is for the South. And I feel like he's making this in a way like an anthem type track, trying to relate. And that's why I agree with your point where you're like talking about someone else. I feel like he's trying to relate with his surrounding.
But the thing is, like I was saying earlier, this is like the 3rd one of these songs we've now gotten. Because, like, basically each one of these projects has had one of these types of songs. And, again, they're not, like, all exactly the same. But I'm not really from the South, so I'm not going to connect to that end of it as a banger, which is fine. I appreciate the quality of this song. I think it's well made, and I think that the way the verse beat, like, pumps out is ridiculous. The chorus is cool. But, again, it's like cheering for someone else's hockey team. It's not, I appreciate it, but it's a bunch of stuff that isn't really me. And that's fine. And I love it because it lets me learn about the other side of the culture. But I gave this one a 4.25. I felt it was like a fun song to listen to. But I can't say it was like a real standout track. Like there was like a couple that were standout. Like the one that's like Pick Yourself Up or whatever. That one I just fucking remembered vividly. This one was, or the first one oh man, where he's like talking to God and whatnot. Like that was some real fucking shit. That was some like powerful stuff there. This one I feel like is more like you said, an anthem for his people, and I love it for what it is, but it's not necessarily for me in that regard. So I'm giving it a 4.25 for my preferences and enjoyment, while respecting it's a well-made song that I'm less excited about.
I landed it at a 4. I enjoy the message behind it, the dedication, the hype, and everything, but I didn't feel much more than I think what the song is supposed to give me. I didn't like really take much from it or whatnot. It kind of just was like, this is pizza. Yes, it is. Like it's super simple.
Which is fine. Because again, if you're vibing to it, I imagine like it's like when you're eating pizza, you go, this is pizza. Yes, it is. It's kind of, you know, like, anyway, there's nothing else. 100, 100. Keep it 100. Run it. 1 with red 0.
She kept it 1.
From an excitement point of view, I feel like I just got fucked a little bit on this project. This is a beautiful fucking song.
Yep.
It is so pretty.
Yep.
It's so sweet.
Yep.
I'm not that into love songs. That's just where I'm at with it. So I'm like, oh man, this is a really like it's so honest. It feels like he's dedicating it to her.
But it's not so much love. I feel that
Appreciation.
Yeah, because they break up.
Which is love.
Huh.
It's still love.
Okay.
It might not be lust or in love or the romanticized version, but this kind of appreciation, you can't write this song without like, love, bro.
So would it be like the way I love my mom, like that unconditional type?
But I mean, like, I feel like it's the kind of thing where he loves this woman, he hurt her or a situation, she's gone now, and he loves her so deeply that he's just, you know, making.
I don't even get the feeling that she's gone. I think that
I don't think she's gone either.
I think that like that's why he states like she's keeping it 100.
That's what I'm saying, because like even though things happen or whatever, at the end of the day, she like chooses him as he is with his flaws, understanding him, and he just shows appreciation for that. So this is a fucking love song because it's to her and appreciating her in a very honest way. And that's why it's a love song and not a lust song, because this is like it just really sounds like some honest shit, like a whole lot of understanding for sure. My time ain't demanding no more. You trying to figure out the best play to be there for me in the best way. I'm trying to save you from the heartache. I just want to smile like we used to, and maybe we can come back in the future and find that we lost in the move, and I mean that. Truly, I know it can happen. You break the heart of a woman the moment you capture it. And like you see this like where the relationship get fucked up in some way, and you know what? I mean, I've been with Bonnie for like fucking 4.5 years. Shit is definitely not the same as it was 4.5 years ago. No, not that it's bad. She's wonderful. Don't tell her. But like it's just more. Things change and you have to figure it out, and sometimes taking that step back and like admitting some shit, and like it's just to me it just feels like a move of love. And then the fact that he's dedicating and saying it, no matter how it is, you keep it 100, you know, and he recognizes that, basically saying that other women do not keep it 100 compared to her, which is I think the fundamental point. And the chorus is really sweet, and the beat's got this like soft thing. From a sound perspective, this one is really fresh and it comes in really cool. And like on a bigger album, it would be like nice to have this as a break from everything else. On a short album, it's 1/3 of it, I'm like, ooh, I'm not that into it. It's very lovely. So I give it a 4.3. I actually give it a higher mark than the last one because I think it's a better song. It's just a little bit not my cup of tea, but I still think it's really well constructed, man. Like I don't want to diminish that at all in light of how well it's put together. But again, it's very simple, very clear. His flow is very fast and bouncy in like a really cool way, and he knows how to hit beats and do the Big K.R.I.T thing over them in a really enjoyable way. And on that end, it's very nice, and I like how he goes real soft with it and really compassionate with it, and he really expresses that appreciation in his voice through like every fucking lyric. So on all his fronts, it's absolutely great, and I truly appreciate what he did. 4.3.
what I really enjoy is the taking the time to like kind of play the both sides. I feel like in the first verse he's basically like admitting to everything he may have done and like apologizing for being such and such way and hurting her and breaking her heart, and that's really sweet and lovey. And it's like, oh, okay, like you show some growth and maturity in terms of from like I guess the situation to what you are now, so that's really cool. I feel like in the second verse though there's this sense of like, because he talks about like how he put her in a benzo. Oh no, I'm completely on the wrong different song, my bad. I was thinking of my apologies.
Chris is on the wrong album.
I'm on the wrong album.
That's right. Spoiler alert. Vic Mensa alert.
Jesus. My fuck up.
Go on, Chris. Save
Well,
yourself.
I do like that first verse for where but I did get this feeling like you're trying, like with the line you said, you're trying to figure out
Chris,
the best
Chris,
play.
you were right in the sense of the tone of the song.
No, I'm saying like that line you were saying, you're trying to figure out that best play to be there for me, but in the best way, and I'm just trying to save you from that heartache. It's like I feel like there's some sort of anger that he kind of carries, that Big K.R.I.T kind of carries a little bit in terms of this situation, even though he knows that she's keeping it 100 and she might be there and she might kind of feel, and it might kind of feel like everything's kind of okay. I feel like there's still like like closure that hasn't
Well, the
happened.
first verse of the Big K.R.I.T song has him admitting that he wasn't perfect and that she was there for him, etc.
Right.
Time's kind of passed, things aren't on the same page, and things don't feel the same. And I believe it's just more showing that maybe he didn't treat her right, and now he's trying to be appreciation. I don't know. I don't feel like he's bitter. I feel like he understands how his actions caused her to feel a certain way, and in light of that, she kept it 100. And that was amazing to him. And that's what I took away from that. Like, whatever. But you guys can let us know if I'm wrong. Sorry if I'm tired. It was my company's Christmas party last night, so not the most energy today.
I landed the song at a 4. It's nice. It's good. It's just not really my sound, per se.
That's fair. Well, since I'm so fucking tired, y'all, I think I need your energy.
I see why in my eyes when big, when life take off, bye bye.
So Big K.R.I.T rides high, but when he's down, he is a vampire and sucks your energy out of your soul. No, I'm playing. But he just kind of feeds off his fans and shit, and he's kind of like, again, a bit on that appreciation front where, I'm not in like a demanding way, but he's like, listen, like, I rely on you guys, and I appreciate that y'all are there for me, so that he does his best to put out his energy into the world to, like, be Big K.R.I.T and to give us this music. And this, right. And again, I appreciate what he does, because it is really cool that he creates this high quality and like really good, unique sounding music. Like, I can't think there's a lot of people, in my opinion, that come out like Big K.R.I.T that I've heard recently. So that's really cool. And then I kind of also like the fact that he is kind of being like, and when I'm down, I need y'all to understand and help me out. Like, it's like a two-way relationship he's trying to establish. And it doesn't sound like toxic or bad or anything. It sounds very like this genuine this genuine desire to express how he feels about it. And I find that the flow on this one is really nice. I like the first verse better. The way he comes at it with like hot life, hot tie, don't drown. Like that kind of like a short little couplet like flow. Mm-hmm. I feel like Big K.R.I.T does that extremely well, and it just comes off tight on that first verse. And it doesn't necessarily go over the top. It rhymes really well. I mean, take off, bye-bye, no slip, black eyes, big shooter, let fly, don't stop, must try, life kicks your ass, keep going. I mean, I don't want to go too deep on the analysis of stuff that's pretty straightforward, but it is still really cool. And then I love just like the flow on the chorus. I need your energy, the world is killing me, light it up. You just feel like he's so fueled by the passion of everyone around him, and it allows him to go in, because sometimes the world is dark. And I even have the micro version of this. I get to read the comments where, as much as some people don't like me, these days I've tried to be as positive as possible. So usually people are really fucking cool in the comments, and sometimes you're like, the world is a vampire, do, and it's sent to drain and shit. And then you like look at the fucking like comments, and you're like, wow, You guys tried hard and we appreciate it, even if you sucked a bit. And I'm like, thank goodness, man. It's so awesome to read that shit because it motivates me and goes, well, if that dude or girl saw that shit and they commented that, then, you know, life's like the whole day's better. It's fucking cool like that. I digress, but I kind of get where he's coming from on this track. So I kind of connected this one a little bit more than, say, the Southern banger because I don't connect to that one as well. But I felt the beat was a little bit okay, a little bit out there.
I preferred the beat, actually.
It was nice. It was smooth. The overall second verse I thought was really cool too because he picks up the energy and he kind of goes a little more like intense on it. Like he kind of held back a bit on verse 1, went in on verse 2, and it was a cool structure. Overall, I just thought it was another good song, so I gave this one a 4.3 as well because it wasn't like next level, but it was as good as the last one we just listened to.
I like the that type of kind of like reaching out for energy type connection that he wants to make with his fans. I feel like with this song, Big K.R.I.T is trying to make something bigger than just music. He's trying to build like his little community in a way. I get the sense of like kind of positive messaging in a sense, like that's right on top, that high, I fly, skydive, high five, we don't die. I see hope, see drive, see why in my eyes, win big, win life, take off, bye-bye. And I highlighted that because I like where he's kind of like saying that he sees potential in people. He sees potential in either himself or in his fans to help him grow and help him kind of be better. And I like that type of messaging. I like that type of like that positive reinforcement that Big K.R.I.T's trying to go for, that I'm seeing. So that was really cool in verse 1. Verse 2, I can't disagree with you. I do see that he kind of picks up that energy, kind of giving us that like through the second chorus. It's like he kind of got this spark, this motivation to give us what he's craving, but I guess also that he feels like that we're craving, and that's what I really think is kind of like the depth of the song itself.
Okay.
He's trying to, I think he's trying to connect with his fans, and like I know you're feeling that, I know you're missing the energy, I know you're missing this, like let's work together in a sense, teamwork, and do this together. So that was really cool. I like the flow on this. I like the way he kind of chops up the word energy with his like just the way he says it. It was really cool. Kind of speeds it up a bit. Overall, I gave the song a 4.3. I really thought 4.2. My bad. I really thought it was just one of the better songs on this project.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I just want to say that I love how it's like almost like he's establishing boundaries with everyone, and that's an important thing to do, I think, these days. Anyway, I mean, that's this project. It's short and sweet, and I'm pretty sure our review is probably like twice the length of the project, if not even more. Still, that's what we do here. We're verbose people who like to fucking talk. I like to talk. Chris then comes in and talks too.
I like that though. I like how we can take like a 3-track project and make like cover 45 to an hour.
I agree, because it's like, listen, if you're really going to be having a conversation about what the songs are about, there should be like 15 tangential conversations ready to go. I mean, I know that like we didn't go super deep into the lyrics on these songs, but like they definitely gave us ideas, and that's kind of the point. I mean, when you're talking about music with your friends, it's not necessarily like, oh, the bar said this, and then it's sometimes you just get like, yo, that kind of reminds me of this thing, and I feel like that's the whole other half of music conversation. It's just what it makes you think about, and that's pretty cool too. Anyway, but this album's alright. I think it's probably my least favorite of the 3, but it's still of equal quality. And it's not my least favorite because it's less good. It's my least favorite because I'm less excited for it. And if like a 4th one comes, unless there's some like pivotal revolutionary change up in the format, I feel like I might be a little bit less excited, and it will impact my enjoyment. It's a little bit drawn out at this point, just in the release schedule. But on the other hand, when people drop singles and shit, I guess you're supposed to still space it out over like a month or 2 usually. Still, that's fine. 4.266 on 5. I think it's a good project, and if you're a fan of this Big K.R.I.T sound that he's running with right now, you're gonna fucking love it. And if you haven't listened to Big K.R.I.T, check out any of the fucking 3, and they're all good for different things. My favorite so far is definitely Double Down.
Really?
Yeah, I like it better than Thrice-X, because Thrice-X has like that banger song and then 2 okay ones. Double Down just felt like these are 2 really good songs.
Damn, I actually, in my own opinion, I like Thrice-X better. I like Glorious. I like Higher King. I actually recently started liking Look What I Got. I kind of just like that little attitude toward it. But that would be my preferred project out of the 3. so far.
How do you feel with
With Trifecta, I think it's good. I think that if you are into this type of sound, you'll like it. I do like the kind of like the softer side of this. It was more like, I guess, for the people. Again, like the first song, for the three, it was like more about dedicating to the city, to the area, his people and people he might be connected to. The second one was about a girl he's appreciating, and then the third track I feel is more like just his fans and his stuff, right? So I feel like this project itself out of the three was more about the society and his community more than himself, than it did on the other two. So that's kind of what I got. I gave the project a 4.06. I think it's really it's good.
All right, cool. So thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to let us know in the comments what you thought about the Big K.R.I.T Trifecta project, what you thought about our review, anything you want to talk about. Are you excited for the holidays? Do you get time off work? Do you have to work on the 25th? Let us know what you're about over there. Anyway, special thanks to the patrons: Lindell Williams, Super Skull 1994, Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado.
Thank you.
And yeah, so they support us. If you want to join them, you can join the request pool, or once a month, as in like next week's Classic Quest will be a Patreon request. So you get to, it's kind of like a queue, a lineup, and then when your turn comes, you pick it. As the list grows, we'll do 2 a month. And when you sign up, just to get you excited, the following month we're going to do a review of whatever the fuck you want us to do, whether it's the most famous album in the world or your cousin's fucking mixtape. Whatever you want is going to happen.
Let's fill that list.
Anyway, on top of that, you get access to content early, and then in the near future we'll have like cooler shit like Discord and be fancy and like everyone else out there. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. We really do appreciate it. I dropped a project recently on Spotify, iTunes, all the good shit. You can check the link below for more information. It's all in the description of the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Holla on the Twitters, all that good shit. Peace.